Hey guys, Tim Mubel here again. Nice Saturday morning up here in Dassel, Minnesota. We're going to talk about barrels, 9mm barrels. We're getting our longer barrels back in stock, so it's time to tell you all about them. What you're going to see on the website is right now we're offering a 10-inch 9mm barrel and a 13.5-inch 9mm barrel, as well as a 16-inch. They're made out of 4150 chromoly steel, 1 in 10 twist, and let's show you some of them. So here's our 10-inch, ready for plating. It's going to be sent out for black oxide bluing, and we've got our little magic on this end. The 10-inch barrel that we manufacture comes in at 14.5 ounces. After that, you want a little bit longer one? Okay, fine. Here's our 13.5-inch barrel. Same thing, same magic on this end. Still a 4150 chromoly steel. We have it, it's crowned on the end, of course, 1/2 28 thread, and this one comes in at, believe it or not, 18 ounces, 1 pound 2 ounces. Going from there, our 16-inch barrel is 20 ounces, and that's just the full length barrel. These, if you purchase these from us, remember these are less than 16 inches. If you're going to use them on a rifle, you're going to have to look at pinning and welding something on the end, or going the SBR route. That's up to you, not up to me. I'm just selling the barrels. Again, both are 1/2 28 threaded on the end and crowned. What you're going to see coming out in hopefully in a couple weeks, well, little history. We've had this is my barrel. I took it off actually just for this video. This is our ULWB. It's a 5 1/4 inch barrel with a brake on the end, and then of course a tube. It's pinned and welded to make it a legal. This is a legal 16-inch barrel. This one comes in at 14 ounces. We call this our ULWB. Well, this aluminum brake has been working so well, we're transitioning it into our 1016 and our 1316. So here's an example of the 1016. We may end up adding another port on this. I think that's going to be a good thing. These barrels come in at 16 ounces. They come in right at 1 pound, nice and light. Mass is back towards you here. And then of course we're going to be coming out with the reintroducing the 1316. That too is going to be right at 20 ounces, believe it or not. So it's still lightweight barrels, going to make you swing fast, going to keep your barrel, your rifle pretty doggone light. So you've been seeing these on all the barrels that we offer. We call this, we've been putting a feed ramp on these. This was developed years ago by us. I don't know why anybody else in the industry isn't doing a feed ramp like this one. If you look real close, you'll see that it's a double angle. So this allows you to use a standard bolt on these barrels. And the idea is when the round comes up, it doesn't hit the back of the barrel and it just slides right up. That's all it has. That's all it does. I'm not shy about it. Prove me wrong. We have the best feeding barrels on the planet. Nobody has a better feeding 9mm barrel for the AR9 than we do. I challenge anybody to that. So why is that? Well, because normally if you buy a barrel, now this is a 45, but if you buy a pistol caliber carbine barrel, that's what the back end looks like. And this is a problem. This, the bullet can hit here and it ain't going anywhere. It can hit up on top and it ain't going anywhere. And you guys, I know you're having feed issues like that. So what do? You try to polish this out, you make it bigger, you put a ramp on the bottom, and you end up going in too far and you get case bulging. And you're wondering, you know, you basically destroyed your barrel. The safest way to do this is in the milling operation, put that ramp on at that point. That way you guys don't have to modify it at home. The other thing on this barrel is we got this little cutout here. This is the superfeed option. That is this little bad boy. This is an insert. It just drops right in. And what that does is this acts like a barrel hood, just like a 1911. If you've ever looked at a 1911, on the top of the barrel, it's got a little hood that comes back. Well, that keeps the bullet, that hood, should the bullet come up too high, okay, well, if you don't have this on, boom, stop. All right. Well, if you have this barrel hood on, now the bullet comes too high. Oh, well, guess what? It pushes it right in. So this is why we have the best feeding barrels on the planet. So why superfeed? Oh my gosh. By the way, we call this a superfeed option. Option meaning you don't have to put this in your gun. You don't have to put this in the barrel. You can put the barrel in your upper just like this. And then you can use your bolt as is. If you do decide that you need this, then you have to do one of two things. You either have to buy a TACCOM bolt, or you have to get your bolt modified. Here's an example of our TACCOM bolt. We have a notch cut in here. And if you look at that, it doesn't do anything for structural integrity. It doesn't make the bolt any weaker. But what it is it's a clearance for this. So it goes in just like that. Now let me show you that in so when the bolt closes, now it closes, and I've got this superfeed option in there, and the bolt just closes right over it. It's a clearance for it. Doesn't make the bolt any weaker. So a couple of things, you know, let's talk about bolts for a little bit, and then I'm going to let you go. There's, in the 9mm world, I'm not going to get into, I'm getting into direct blowback bolts, okay? We're not going down that road of CMMG or the JP5 or anything like that. Not going down that road. This is the most popular bolt system for an AR9, period. So we're going to talk about this. What happens is, if you look at our key on a 9mm bolt, our key, I like to call it an orientation key. It's not a gas key like on a 223. This is most likely what you have on your bolt. These weigh 1 ounce. These weigh 1/5 of an ounce. What happens is you have this mass on top, and you can tighten these bolts all you want. You can stake them, you can use rock set, anything you want. And this has the potential, because the bolt, so much mass in this bolt slamming back and forth, what happens is this starts to slip and slide a little bit. And it gets to a point where the bolts aren't holding this anymore, and it slips back and forth, and you shear your screws off. And it's because of the mass of this. I don't know why people, you know, this is basically a gas key redesign. The original, you know, they just said, oh, we don't need that sticking out, let's just cut that off. Well, they still didn't cut enough weight off. Ours, we re-engineered it, we cut it off. And the other thing we did was, where this key will go up in, ours just stays in this place. Well, here's another thing. If you ever noticed, on the front of your bolt, about 3/8 of an inch back, there's going to be a ledge. I don't care if it's the bolt itself that has a ledge, or if you have a longer gas key that's got it cut off. But that area right there, that is the only spot that's pulling on your bolt. Okay, so let's get that straightened out. So, okay, so now you've got this down. The nice thing about our setup is you don't even have to mess with the charge handle to pull the bolt out. You just pull it out and drop it back in. You don't have to touch this. You can leave it in place. I like that feature. So, but in the 7 years we've been making these bolts, we have never had a key shear off. Can anybody else say that? The only other way that can happen is if they make it a one-piece setup, and that gets to be more expensive. So anyways, that's what we got going on. We've got our 10-inch, our 13.5-inch barrels, our 16-inch barrels. We're going to be shipping those August 1st. They're in. We put them in stock because today I am finishing them up, and Monday they go in. The 10-16 and the 13-16. Look for news on those in about a week or so. And one other thing I'm going to touch on, 1022 chassis. I said they were going to be on the website last week. I'm sorry we didn't quite make it. Life. They will be on the website this week. So, one other thing, if you haven't ever noticed, I love t-shirts with cool stuff. And I'm just going to leave this one right here. Yes, I have triggered somebody with this. So, have a great weekend, guys. Take care.